Haters don't just flatten Jimin, they try to dismantle him. Every few months, a new round of misinformation circulates, from his vocals to writing to success to personality. And they don't even pretend that it is hate. They just design things to undermine what they can't define. Meanwhile, the work itself tells a different story. Behind the noise is an artist with one of the most sophisticated rhythmic instincts in modern pop, a dancer with classical discipline and street precision, and the writer who builds emotional arcs for short films. Unfortunately, those are the parts that are least discussed. And this piece separates rumors from the record and revisits the lesser known facts, the actual evidence of his craft. It's not myth busting for attention. It's about putting the focus back to where it belongs, on his art, music, structure, and the intelligence driving both. Did you know that Jimin possesses one of the rarest skills of a composer and lyricist? The ability to create outstanding melodic rhythm. This is an analysis from a musician, and her X handle is Hosok is my muse. Jimin has one of the most distinctive rhythmic instincts in modern pop. His melodies don't simply follow the beat, they dance around it. He bends timing, pauses where you don't expect, and slips into rhythm like it's breathing. In other words, he does the opposite of what is natural or what you would expect, but he does it so expertly that it feels natural. The term comes from the songwriter Benjamin Groff, who defines it as the rhythm of the vocal melody. It's not the track or the beat underneath. It's what gives a melody its pulse and makes certain lines stay in your head long after the song ends. Some of the best pop songs begin with this rhythm before any notes are even chosen. That concept explains a lot about Jimin's singing. His voice doesn't simply glide over a backing track, it moves with its own rhythm, almost like percussion made of melody. Take Lie, for example. The contrast between hunting line caught in a lie and the brief switch to a major key is already striking. And this is something that a lot of even classical singers and musicians have taken notice of. But what truly hooks you is the rhythm beneath those words. The way he spaces, please get away, 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 away from me. Each repetition lands slightly different, as if he's gasping for space inside a phrase. It's rhythm used as emotion. And he does something similar in Disease, especially in that famous bridge, Walk It, Walk It, Walk It. The line is almost percussive, like he's drumming the words rather than just singing them. You hear this rhythmic signature all over Face, his solo album. Every track, from the flowing instability of Alone to the aggressive push and pull of Set Me Free Part 2, shows how naturally he shapes melody through timing. In Set Me Free Part 2, listen to how he threads I who came to rest at the end and does not look back. Between the chant like yeah, 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 those lines sit in their own rhythmic pocket. And when he reaches Butterfly, the pattern breaks open, a release after so much tension. The clearest example is probably Going Insane to Stay Sane. I raise my fist for the past. The phrase hits in clipped, urgent bursts, then suddenly stretches out like he's wrestling the beat itself. This is Jimin's trademark, a melodic rhythm that feels as physical as it sounds. It's what makes his singing feel like dancing, not just keeping time, but playing with it. The mix of syncopation, accent shifts, and tonal changes gives his melodies an almost cinematic quality, intimate, unpredictable, and alive. Please give Hosok My Muse a follow on X. She's great. Misinformation. He didn't write a lot. Well, I guess it depends on how we define a lot. The rap line, RM Suga and J Hope, have often mentioned that the vocal line actually contributed in the BTS's early years, even without formal writing experience. But rarely did those contributions receive credit. Our first hint of Jimin's input came from Jin, who once said that he liked a melody Jimin wrote for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. But no one ever clarified which part it is, unfortunately. Another song he worked on but was not credited for was Filter. Oddly enough, that is his solo song. Jimin conceived the concept and gave that vision to producers to develop. That much is very clear. But also, RM himself said that Jimin made so many changes to the song that he didn't feel the need to intervene. In his live stream, RM said that he worked closely with other members on their solos, but with Filter, he said it was nearly perfect by the time he heard of it. Unfortunately, until anyone talks about this in more detail, we're left with speculation. But the consistent pattern suggests Jimin's involvement has been deeper than officially documented. Did you know that he has a metallic but dark voice, an almost impossible quality even amongst trained vocalists? The analysis was provided by different classical singers and I put them together. You can find the links in the description box, but one major contributor is Puma Bass. According to them, Jimin's voice has a metallic quality. It's bright, resonant, and focused, with a ringing tone that cuts clearly through arrangements. In vocal terminology, metallic describes a tone that carries bell like overtones, rich in high frequency resonance between 2.5 to 4 kilohertz, known as the singer's format. Very technical. This gives a voice its projection and brilliance, allowing it to soar over instrumentation. That quality is often prized in classical singing because it signals efficient vocal fold closure and well balanced resonance, the kind that carries through orchestration without amplification. Very rare. But the real gem is that Jimin's voice is also dark. A dark timbre in voice science refers to warmth, depth, and thicker overtone profile. Combined with his metallic ring, the result is both cutting and emotive, a tone that glows but never turns cold. And because those two things are usually opposites, it's very rare to find it in one vocalist. Jimin has it. They all said that if Jimin ever decides to become a classical singer, he is easily going to be a countertenor, the highest one. Since we're talking about his voice, here's one misinformation. He has no range as a vocalist. All right, we already talked about how rare having a metallic and dark voice is, but several professional singers have already said that Jimin, if classically trained, would naturally fall under the countertenor category. But that doesn't mean falsetto is all he has. In fact, he uses a technique often mishandled even by trained vocalists, the vocal fry. Vocal fry is the lowest register of the human voice where the vocal folds relax and vibrate slowly, producing a creaky, textured sound. It's used in training to strengthen control at the lowest end of the register and to help singers feel proper vocal fold closure. Overused, it can sound lazy or stylized, but used deliberately, it adds character and emotion. Jimin often opens songs with a vocal fry to establish texture, a deliberate artistic choice that draws the listener in. It's uncommon for natural tenors to have this level of control over fry because it requires precision in maintaining airflow and fold tension. For someone who joined BTS last and really didn't have a lot of proper professional training, this technical command is remarkable. It shows intuition, disciplined listening, and sheer physical awareness of how his voice behaves. Did you know that Jimin probably has integrative creativity? Jimin's artistry fuses multiple domains: movement, tone, narrative, and visual storytelling into one coherent expression and experience. He performs like a multimodal artist, sound, choreography, staging, and costume, all connected to the same emotional arc. The result feels cinematic where the boundary between music, dance, and psychology disappears. I'm not a psychologist, and even if I were, I couldn't analyze a personality without professional assessment. So these are just based on observable patterns in his work. A few psychological concepts might offer insight into his creative process, and these are not diagnoses, simply frameworks that deepen appreciation. First, dialectical thinking. Dialectical thinking means being able to hold two opposing truths without needing to cancel either one. Love and anger, for example. You can be angry at someone and still know and still act with love. Compassion. You can be compassionate at someone, but still keep your distance. So you're able to care for yourself, but also care for the other person. You can stay kind without making yourself vulnerable to harm. Most people aren't wired this way because we tend to choose a side. That is to protect ourselves by simplifying what we feel. When something hurts, we call it bad and reject it completely. When something feels good, we cling to it even if it stops serving us. Dialectical thinkers don't do that. They accept that life often exists in tension and that clarity comes from staying in the middle of it, not escaping to one end. And that's exactly what Jimin does in Face. For Face Off, he lashes out, but like crazy, he escapes. Alone isolates, Letter forgives, and the album doesn't chase one dominant emotion. It lets conflict breathe until understanding forms. He doesn't try to erase pain with optimism or numb it with denial. He lets both exist until they reconcile. That balance between exposure and control, vulnerability and composure, is what makes Face so emotionally literate. It's dialectical thinking in art form, growth through coexistence, not opposition. Next, metacognitive awareness. Metacognitive awareness is the ability to notice your own thoughts and the emotions as they happen. It's like stepping outside yourself for a moment to see what you're feeling and why. It's emotional self observation in real time. Most people react first and reflect later. We get angry, then realize we're hurt. We speak out, then regret how it came out. But people with strong metacognitive awareness pause in the middle of their reaction. They watch the emotion form, examine it, and decide what to do with it. It's not detachment, it's mastery through understanding. That's the structure of Face and Muse. Both albums feel like a dialogue between Jimin and his own thoughts. Face Off begins in reaction, anger and frustration spilling out. Interlude dive, and Alone pull inward like moments of self study. By Like Crazy and Letter, he isn't just describing emotions anymore, he's narrowing the processing of it. Each track sounds like another layer of consciousness observing the last. This awareness gives his music its composure. He doesn't dramatize emotion for effect. He dissects it, shapes it, and turns it into a story. That's why Face doesn't read as self pity or confession, it reads as reflection. It's the sound of someone learning from their own feelings instead of being consumed by them. Misinformation. Jimin's US market success is simply because of his fans' manipulation. Okay, so we all know he became the very first soloist in history to debut a non English song on the summit of Billboard Hot 100. That alone was groundbreaking. But there's more. He received minimal US promotion for Face, one Jimmy Fallon appearance, and a few digital interviews, including Vogue. His sophomore project had even less. Yet, the lead single, Who, remained on the Billboard Hot 100 for 33 weeks. Driven purely by streams, it remains to be the longest charting solo song by an Asian native soloist in Billboard Hot 100. Here's more. Manual Spotify charting places Who's US streams at roughly 470,000 to date. Its B side, Be Mine, stayed in daily US streaming charts for over 400 days. He couldn't promote Muse extensively due to enlistment. Yet, its longevity speaks volumes. He was also one of the two members whose solo song, Filter, charted under BTS on Billboard Hot 100 when it was launched, number 87. And beyond the charts, he drew the largest crowd Tiffany has ever seen during its New York store opening. A turnout so massive, police had to redirect traffic extending to Central Park. The enduring chart presence and streaming consistency point to more than virality. They point to a stable, loyal fan base. His decision to focus on BTS has only intensified the anticipation among his supporters. Did you know that he is the dream of creative directors like me? He has what we call portraiture, elongation or extension. For directors, the most rewarding performer is one who can shape themselves like clay, who moves with intention and holds every line. And Jimin is that kind of performer. His background in contemporary dance gave him sensitivity to detail, the ability to interpret rhythm through micro movements. Professional dancers, again, links in the description box, and choreographers often note his articulation, posture, and clarity. His lines extend all the way to his fingertips, every position deliberate. In ballet, teachers stress the importance of extending every motion through extremities. No dead hands. Jimin's dance embodies that principle. Every pause in his choreography could be a photograph. His flexibility and core strength allow him to maintain both control and fluidity. Movements that appear effortless, jumps, turns, or even small transitions demand intense muscular engagement. The beauty of his dance lies in the illusion, the ease of masking the discipline underneath. This one is a crazy misinformation. Jimin relies on RM in writing. The influence of RM on the members is something we will never fully understand or even approximate because we are not with them 24/7 and we don't work with them. It is, however, no denying that BTS as a group helped everyone. However, that single scene in Muse behind the scenes when RM suggested that Jimin first try to pin down what it is that he really wants to say does not tell the whole story. On the contrary, Jimin possesses something naturally that even decorated songwriters struggle with, the natural inclination to progress the story of his message within a song. He writes songs like a movie. There's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. He doesn't just talk about running away from something the entire song. He talks about running away and then making an attempt to run away and then the consequences of his attempt. Okay, let's apply that principle. Take Like Crazy, for example. He starts with a narrative description. The opening verse positions him in a scene with reassurance at the edges, someone telling him it will be okay. And then he slides into interior monologue. He dives into the headspace. Watch Me Go, drenched all night and morning too. It's the sound of someone taking themselves apart to understand what's left. And then he goes into image driven evocation. In what functions as a pre chorus, he paints a picture instead of merely telling you how he feels. He describes loud music, a drama like story. He's getting used to it. By shifting to imagery, he pulls you into the room rather than reporting from it. He used the same structure in Lie, his first credited song, a full narrative arc compressed into 3 minutes. Many songwriters repeat a single idea in like 10,000 different ways in one song. Jimin constructs emotional evolution. It's an innate sense of pacing. He would be a great screenwriter. This type of storytelling is something many lyricists aren't even aware about. Did you know that Jimin has one of the most technically sound foundations as a dancer? He combines ballet and street dance. Ballet teaches fluid continuity, no pauses, no stiffness. Each motion flows into the next. They often say, do not ever waste a single moment on stage. Street styles like popping emphasize precision, hitting beats sharply for maximum effects. That's why they have a lot of pauses. Jimin merges both seamlessly. He's able to extend movement through the in between counts like a ballet dancer and then strikes the beat with street dance clarity. The result is a physical rhythm that's both graceful and impactful, elegance intertwined with precision. And here's another irritating misinformation. Jimin is a pick me and depends on other people for validation. There have been many moments when Jimin has revealed his outlook, both in interviews and music. While we can never fully know him, his words and actions reflect exceptional emotional intelligence. Again, I'm not a psychologist, so take this as an initial step for a broader research. He has emotional detachment, not suppression. During Faye's era, he did share that he had some wrong people in his life, and when he was asked if he cut them off, he said that he instead learned not to react emotionally to them. He sort of became indifferent. That's really not apathy, it's emotional maturity. It shows boundaries, understanding others' impact without surrendering composure. And this aligns with response modulation, one of the most advanced forms of emotional regulation. Instead of suppressing emotions or avoiding triggers, Jimin acknowledges feelings but does not feed them. Next, he has autonomy and locus of control. In Set Me Free Part 2, the line I set myself free captures internal locus of control, the belief that healing begins within. It's both emotional and philosophical. He's asserting his self agency. No one is going to rescue me, I will rescue myself. In psychological terms, this mirrors self determination theory. Autonomy, competence, and relatedness as pillars of fulfillment. Jimin embodies those principles in how he approaches music, growth, and self worth. Jimin's artistry resists reduction. He's not defined by genre, credits, or labels. He's defined by synthesis of sound and silence, discipline and emotion, tradition and instinct. Every note he sings, and every line he writes, and every movement he shapes is a study in awareness of self, of sound, of emotion. Mastery for him is not about control, it's about understanding. Haters will continue the discourse to keep on shrinking him to labels, but his work keeps expanding him beyond them. And that's the record worth keeping. And that's Jimin for you. Okay, I think this about concludes our series. But even if I am done with this, if there is any information you want me to verify, please just send it to me. I will be more than happy to double check, triple check, fact check, and so that we can actually set the record straight. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did creating it. There's so much misinformation going around about the boys. I guess that's normal if you are actually popular. And also there's a lot of people out there that are projecting their desires or imagination onto the boys. Okay. I hope that you enjoy that. If there's any topic that you want me to cover, please get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now, IG, X, but more importantly on Patreon, because that's where the conversations are happening. So please join us. There's a lot of movie talks happening, conversations about other artists, and sometimes we just have fun. And there is a free tier just in case you want to try things out first. Also please consider donating to the channel. Go to the website right now, asianentertainmentandculture.com. We are on a soft launch. All of our funds are getting ported to expanding the channel and other projects that I will be announcing very soon. So please consider donating and also suggesting any kind of improvement, or if there's any mistake that you spot in the website, let me know. um, that's it. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button because that's really what's going to be so that you can watch us, all the videos that we upload. But more importantly, please share the video, share the channel to your friends, family members, everyone that you can think of, because that will help us actually get recommended by the algorithm. Thank you so much. Till next time.